ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt Show. This episode 246. It's late, I know. Honestly, I really do. I'm reading a book right now called A Confederacy of Dunces, and the main character. First off, that book is pretty hilarious. Several laugh out loud moments. There's one scene with this scene you have to kind of understand what's going on, but he watches TV, but he hates everything that he watches, but he watches it religiously so that he can shit on it. He's like, the whole point is that the character's like the worst dude of all time, and he's screaming at these kids, and he's like, they should be thrown into a gas chamber. Okay, well, you have to read the book. You should listen to the book, because I don't listen to any book, but I got this recommended to me because the voice acting is so good on this. The guy does such a good job. It's hilarious. He's watching one movie and this girl. Oh God, dude, you guys have to just listen to the book. It's called The Confederacy of Dunces. It has several laugh out loud moments, and it is a tragic. We're gonna review it soon here, but I know this is late because I had an issue. I got logged out of like all my Google accounts on my phone, and I literally couldn't even open YouTube. I couldn't transfer any of my TikToks I had for the episode. I couldn't even log into Google Drive to like take notes, except for on my computer. So I had to obviously deal with that, and Google does not have any sort of support system anywhere. I was trying to this might be the first time anyone has ever said this, but I was trying to get on the phone with an Indian. Like, I just wanted to get on the phone with an Indian man or woman or anyone. I just wanted to talk to someone to fix my freaking shit, and ended up having to call my boy Daniel, who deals with this type of shit, and he fixed me up, but had to fully reset my whole phone. So a bit of a headache, but we're good now, and yeah, we're good. But it was the most frustrating part was I was literally trying. I couldn't open up anything. I couldn't open up my YouTube. I couldn't open up Google Maps. Google Maps was like glitching out because I wasn't logged into Google. Every time I open my phone, it's like spamming me with all these pop-ups. Please log into this account. I couldn't really even like get SMS messages. They were like weird. It reminded me, it gave me like a flash forward moment, like a vision of the future of what digital IDs might look like. Like that shit that they're rolling out in England right now, where I played it on the last episode, where the king is in his chair and he's like, "We will be rolling out digital IDs." He sounds like Darth Voodoo, or what's it? Dooku. That guy. That is imagine a digital ID, and then like you forget your and the worst part was, like, I was trying to, and obviously I'm like, I know all my passwords to log in, and it's like, confirm your login by selecting yes on your phone. And I'm like, I'm trying to log in on my phone, and it's like I just got stuck in this like Kafka-esque cycle of like, okay, now check my email, confirm that it's me logging in, and then they're like, okay, we'll send you a text, and I'm like, I cannot get the text to log in. So I desperately wanted to talk to an Indian to work through the situation, but there was no Indian. I was like screaming into the void, give me an Indian to talk to. Which, if you're ever screaming for an Indian to talk to, you're in dire straits, obviously. But imagine your digital ID, when they've got everything hooked up, it's like, it won't let you even like, your card will get declined. It's like, oh, for your protection, we have declined this purchase. And you're like, it's me using the card. You're screaming at someone who's just staring blankly at you because they're on like so many meds that they just can't process feelings anymore. They're staring at you from behind the checkout counter blankly. They're looking through you. You're screaming at their face. You're like, it's my card. I swear. Look, this is my ID. And then you show them your physical ID, and they're like, yeah, those don't work anymore. We need your digital ID. Do you have something? Did you get the implant? We can check your tag like a dog. We can check your tags. Yeah, do you have a chip? Have you been chipped? We can usually double check with the chip, and then you got to go to the DMV to connect your bank account to your freaking digital ID. And God forbid you say something suspicious about Israel, or maybe question the amount of people that died in the Holocaust, and all of a sudden you can't check out at the fucking Walmart. As you're walking by, the prices are changing, going higher as you walk by. I was getting all of these visions while waiting to talk to an Indian, which never ended up happening. I had to go to my Mexican homeboy Daniel to fix up my my phone, which eventually happened. Had to fully reset the entire thing. It was just in general a complete nightmare. But we did get some projects done around the house. Finished up the climbing wall, and we built a little garden bed out of rock. I've been laying stone, like laying bricks with doing the. I've gotten pretty good with one of those little spatula things. So I'm kind of like into masonry now. I went from digging holes to carpentry with building the rock wall itself, to now building a very solid brick built garden bed. So kind of the one thing I will not do is plumbing, because I don't want to mess with that shit, or electrical stuff, because I do not want to. That seems a lot more high stakes than brick and wood. I'm sticking to the earthly professions. I'll let the experts handle the rest. What is going on? We did finish. Oh yeah, we finished a book. I might as well go over it. This is Mere Christianity, by C.S. Lewis, who we actually read a book earlier this year by C.S. Lewis. We read the final book in the space trilogy called That Hideous Strength, which is kind of referenced in this book, by the way. Some of the, I'll just go through. So the main point of this isn't fiction. This is like a breakdown of what he calls mere Christianity. So just kind of like the bare bones, the bare back, if you will, of Christianity. And this is, his sort of, I guess C.S. Lewis used to be an atheist or agnostic or something. And then he came around to Christ, and this is his kind of profession about. Actually, in the foreword, it does mention that this book was supposed to be, or it was a speech given to the soldiers in World War II who were fighting, and this kind of went over the airwaves to boost their morale and hype them up on Jesus. So in that way, it is sort of, obviously government propaganda, which is just what that would be. Starting there, it doesn't diminish what the actual like words are that he writes, because you can tell that he's obviously, he is hype on Jesus, and I do appreciate Jesus and God and what they represent and who they are, and their saving capabilities and their merciful and benevolent sort of I don't know how to say it, like their justice keeping, and the final curtain call is very intriguing to me, because I do. So the main thing, and the reason why I decided to read this, is because I was talking to my sister, who is deeply religious. She does, the missions and stuff like that, and talks to, she might actually talk to Indians. I'm not too sure, but she recommended this book because we got into a discussion about justice, and we were talking about Epstein and stuff like this. I'm like, is justice not in this world, or does justice only exist in heaven, or in an afterlife, or when you die? Is that the only time justice actually happens? And we were talking about little kids who were born without a lung or something like that, and it's like these horrible things happen, And it's hard to say like a God would punish a child for sins that he has not committed yet. Um, it's pretty. I mean, some of the stuff is pretty heavy, but I did want to read this because I do have a. I mean, I'm definitely open minded to everything, and I'm very spiritual as a person. I believe that there's some sort of creative force, an intelligent force that is or not necessarily guiding things, but set things in motion maybe. But this book was really, really good. I mean, it's a couple parts are like not necessarily went over my head, but felt kind of superfluous or whatever. What is that word? You know, excess or not necessary. Superfluous. Why can't I even say that word? I can see it in my head, but I can't rearrange the letters in the right order. Let's see. I always like to highlight a couple good parts. I will say one of the most interesting chapters was his chapter on free will, because free will is such a big topic when you're talking about Christianity, because if there's a God that controls everything, then he controls you, and in that case, you know, it doesn't really matter in a sense what you do because you've already done it. But he does have a cool theory with this, and the best way I can describe it is, well, he says that God is a being outside of time. So, like, we're all here living moment to moment to moment in a straight line, whereas if you zoom out on a God level who is outside of time, then actually time is all happening at once. If you've ever seen the movie Arrival, I think this probably kind of sums it up in the best way, where it's a circle. So, technically, for a God, and this is how he says that you can get free will with a all-powerful God, is the God actually, he knows what's going to happen, but it's because he sees it happen. The way I kind of imagine this is a billion, trillion, an infinite amount of frames in a movie surrounding a God. And this is the only way I can imagine it because I'm physical. Everything is like, I'm a physical person, so I think physically. But imagine all the frames of your life like surrounding God in a circle. Like every single frame from your entire life, like every moment. But that's happening. So like it's an entire thing of all the people that have ever lived, every life, but God can see all the frames and any frame at any time that he wants to. So not that he wants to, but that he sees them all the frames happening at the exact same time. So it doesn't matter. So the free will aspect, which is interesting, is that's just the next frame. So he knows that that's going to happen just because he sees it, but it's already, I mean, you could have done something different and it would have just been that frame. It's kind of hard to, wrap your head around, but it was a really, really cool way for him to describe it. And another, like an interesting part to that is anytime, so if God's above time, then kind of like the first season of True Detective, time is a flat circle, then any time in the Bible where it says, we will be saved, and C.S. Lewis didn't say this, but you can extrapolate from the idea that he was putting out there, is actually the rapture has already happened. If God's outside of time, the rapture has already happened, the minute that he was getting crucified. So everything happens all at once, and it it does. I mean, it matters what you do. Obviously, free will gives you agency, but it's just a new frame for that's happening all at the same time. So, there's a couple other cool ideas in here. He is, I mean, you can tell he's obviously hype. He is hype on God, and very enthusiastic, and I appreciate that. I always say if there's nothing, if you don't have something that you're willing to die for, then I mean you don't really have anything to live for either. The An interesting idea that he puts in here is the Zoe and the BIOS. So we all live on a BIOS level, which is just like physical, emotional, but to live on a Zeo or a Zoe level, you have to elevate spiritually, and to do that, he talks about this sort of figurative and literal killing of yourself. You have to give yourself up to God to let him work inside of you. And he gives the analogy of like you're living in a house right now. Your body is a house, and God's got plans for your house, and you have to exit the house in sort of like extreme home makeover mode. Let him go to work, add levels, and his house. I mean, you may have been thinking of a certain house, a certain size. What he's thinking about and what he's aiming for is for you to have the perfect house, the house in the image of God is what he's thinking about. So you have to let him just go to work inside, and then, they'll hit that move that bus, and then you got a taco bedroom. So that is sort of the idea there. He had a couple cool ideas. Let me just flip to a page and see if I have anything underlined here. Here he is. He's talking about this is about the Zeo, the spiritual life which is in God from all eternity, and which made the whole natural universe is Zoe. Bios has, to be sure, a certain shadowy or symbolic resemblance to Zoe. So that's sort of like, I don't know. It reminded me of yin and yang. There's a certain amount of Bios in Zoe and a certain amount of Zoe in Bios. It's sort of like that black and white, the Asian thing. Let's see. Oh, this is the time section. God is not hurried along in the time stream of this universe any more than an author is hurried along in the imaginary time of his own novel. It's interesting to think about God, obviously, as an author. It's sort of like you wouldn't be, if you're writing a book, you're not stressed out when a person is like in the middle of a fight. You can just step away for 4 hours, come back to the fight scene, and no time has passed for that person in the fight scene, but whatever 10 days has passed for you before you wrote it again. Time doesn't really matter. Time doesn't exist for the author. If you picture time as a straight line along which we have to travel, then you must picture God as the whole page on which the line is drawn. That's just more of the time theory. It was a pretty interesting chapter. Flat circle stuff. He talks about this, and it kind of hit me deep because it is pretty important. Remember that God probably never meant them to do that. So he's talking about people. When you find yourself wanting to turn your children or pupils or even your neighbors into people exactly like yourself, remember, God probably never meant them to be that. You and they are different organs intended to do different things. So he's talking about like talents and stuff like that. Let's see. There's another part that's pretty cool. This was a really powerful quote here. I think it was early in this book. Let me try to find it because it was a really powerful quote. There we go. And just like time doesn't exist, we have fast forwarded about 2 minutes as I find this condensed it into 1 minute. Here's the quote, and this is a really powerful quote. No man knows how bad he is till he has tried very hard to be good. No man knows how bad he is till he has tried very hard to be good. So he goes on to explain this sort of the ego death that you have to give up, and he keeps on saying that even if you have like a really shitty life, that God recognizes, and I like this analogy, what a horrible car you have to drive. So he, like, I guess takes that into account. He's like, yeah, man, you've had a really shitty, you got a bad lot, but you're doing your best. We never find out the strength of this evil impulse inside us until we try to fight it. And that right there is the hideous strength from the book, is that human quality, that evil demon that works inside of everyone. I recommend go read it. There's a lot of really cool ideas. And even if you're not into Christianity or spirituality, this is a really good book to just read, to broaden your horizons. And if you're not willing to even entertain the ideas, then you are, committed to being small-minded. And I think that that's probably the worst thing that you can do, even worse than not being a Christian. So that is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Yeah, go out and read it. It's actually a pretty quick read. It's like 250 pages, something like that. 230 something, I think. But all right, let's continue on with the news, because we've dilly-dallied long enough. If you're we're 20 minutes in, but if you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you're returning, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate the constant support. And if you're telling people about the show, I really appreciate it. I love to see new comments, new people, new emails, whatever. Even new views. Like, I have like a pretty solid idea of like how many views. I'm like, okay, 30 people, solid. But every time it goes up, I get pretty happy. I'm like, well, at least one person finds value enough into going and listening to this. And I love when I see people, drop a comment here or drop a like here. It does mean the world to me. It means that, not only am I doing this for myself as sort of like a decompression, weekly recap, kind of a vomiting of ideas out there into the void, but someone else can actually get something out of it too. So I'm not just kind of rambling into my fiance's ear, the craziness that is captured, bouncing around up here. It really does bounce around, kind of like that DVD screen, like the loading screen, the DVD bouncing thing. I've got things that I need to say, and they've got to just bounce outside of the screen, or they will bounce around forever and pile up, and I will go physically insane. So that being said, let's talk about the new bad boy on the street. We've got a new bad boy on the street. Goodbye, COVID. Goodbye, hantavirus. Hello, Ebola. Sexy Ebola is back. Are you telling me that Ebola is coming out of retirement one more time, picking up the crown? His jersey was hung in the rafters for a minute during Obama's period. I do remember, and guys, this might make some of you feel old, and it might make some of you think I'm old, but I was 12 during Obama, maybe 11. And I do remember a lot of people making jokes about zombies and people bleeding out of their eyes and a lot of blood out of the asshole and cock hole. I remember a lot of these holes being, bled out of, and it being sort of the main point of, interest when it came to this virus. And that was at 10. So it's been a long time since I heard about Ebola, but apparently it's back, and it's back and booming in, of all places, guys, would you have ever guessed that it's booming in the Congo? You're telling me Africa has a strange unknown virus? Yeah, okay. In China, next thing you're going to tell me is that China has a strange unknown virus. Okay. I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. We talked about Mr. Gates, Bill Gates, last time. Bill Gates has been over in Africa. I mean, this guy, Bill Gates, and I don't want you to read too much into this, what I'm about to say, but that guy needs to go away for a long time. Just leave shit alone. Like, there's like a level of being rich where it's like, okay, yeah, you can be retarded and want to go to Mars, or you can be retarded and think you're the Antichrist. But when you're retarded and you want to start experimenting with biological ticks or malaria bugs or strange vaccine testing on African children, I mean, they're like growing third limbs and like coming out all special needs and stuff. There, it is kind of strange the interest that just the interests in general that Mr. Gates has. Billy is an issue. Like, everything bad with billionaires is kind of like wrapped up in him. Like, I'm not saying to do this, but I'm saying that if a billionaire were to die, and I never hope anyone dies, because I mean, to wish for the death is to commit the death, and to commit the murder is, I mean, that's not, I don't want that on my conscience. So I'm not even going to really say anything, but I'm just saying Bill Gates is one of those guys that it would be not I don't even know really how to phrase this that doesn't like flag YouTube with anything. He just needs to go away. I don't care if he goes to an island or he just needs to go away. Like, just leave things the way they are. You don't need to be making weird bugs. You need to stop making bugs that like spread. You don't need to be curbing any sort of like viruses. You just need to let shit play out how it plays out, okay? Shit is chill. And also, and he's like one of those guys who's into like eugenics and like population control. Why is he trying to fix people with like weird malaria killing counter mosquito dropping and like tick bite? So why is he trying to like help people when he wants people to actually die? I mean, I don't know. He's also like launching shit into the sky to like block out the sun rays. He's no good, but I'm sure that he has something to do with this Ebola outbreak. I mean, he's a slimy little guy. He even literally got his wife infected with syphilis and didn't tell her, and actually actively drugged her drinks to so that she wouldn't know. So the guy's a sleazeball, to say the least. To say the very least, he's no good. At least 131 people have been reported dead in an Ebola outbreak in the Dominican Republic of Congo, with more than 513 cases suspected, local officials said. A spokesperson of the DR government said cases are now being reported over a wider area. So is this a concern for Americans? How many people from the Dominican Republic actually come to America? Can we stop? Can we stop with this? I mean, like, the how many people die per year of Ebola? Is this like a normal number in Africa? I honestly, I truly don't know. So in 2014 and 2016, okay, so I was 17. I was like 15, 16, 17, whatever, the last time this happened. So more than 28,000 people were infected by Ebola during the 2014 to 2016 outbreak in West Africa, the largest outbreak since 1976. Okay. So that's the one I was talking about in when I was in like middle school, okay? Is this going to become a problem for America? the WHO, has advised DR Congo, Uganda, 2 countries with confirmed cases, to undertake cross-border screenings to avoid the virus spreading. We don't want people infected because of funerals. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be... What is going on? Like, why does Ebola only happen in Africa? I don't think it is. It seems to be like a localized thing. God. God. Every day that there's a new thing going on in China or Africa, I thank God. I truly thank God that I was born in America. Sometimes my fiance is like, they're dropping, like they're building data centers. They're sucking up all the water. We live in the worst country of all time. It's run off of greed and poisoned, poisoned food and goy slop. And sometimes, I feel very sad because I mean she's a sweet angel and shouldn't have to worry about these things, and she shouldn't know the things I have to deal with in my strange mind, but she does. And sometimes when I listen to her, I try my best to say all of that is true. Yes, all of the food is trying to kill you. Yes, the politicians care as little as possible about you to get elected, and then they care even less after they are. And then and yes, they are actively trying to kill you. Like, some people are actively trying to kill you. And yes, the data centers are going up at an alarming rate. And yes, no one knows what a data center even is. I've asked 14 people what a data center is. No one knows. No one even knows what a data center does. Why does it have to be so big? And why does it have to take up so much? Why does it have to be wide? I keep on asking this question. Why does it have to be wide? Why can't it be tall? Why does it have to take up 40 square miles? I truly, about data centers, I don't even think that they're data centers. They've got to be something else. They've just got to be something else. Also, what is all this data, and why does it take so much space to store? Are you storing paper? Is all the data in paper? Does it really need a 40-acre lot? You need a 40-acre lot for your data storage. Really? You know they have like a 4 terabyte thing that's the size of my fingernail? It's like a USB. They make SD cards that slide into your computer that are the freaking size of a credit card. Do you really need 40 acres of space to store all that? What are they even storing? I don't even understand anything that's happening anymore. But that being said, I mean, all of that being said, we are blessed that we don't have to wake up in a place where, I mean, in China, if you wake up, you have to put on a mask, not because you're scared of getting some unknown disease, which will happen, but also the air there is like so toxic that you actually like generate smoker's lung just by breathing. And then if you go to like India, you're born, and if you're born in any class, not the untouchables, you're like, okay, I'm chilling. But if you're born an untouchable, you get actively spit on in the street, and you have to literally shit in the street and like make soup with your foot for some reason. And then, I mean, God forbid you're born in Africa, you might literally be born with AIDS in Africa. So there's a lot of reasons that America is like a good option. So, and it, like, even if you're born in England, it's like England has their own issues that I respect them for trying to deal with them, and it better late than never, but it is their situation has gone on a little long, I think. So they're trying to get their shit under control, but they're also like rolling out digital IDs, which may have been the whole scheme all along, like let in all these guys and, they'll do what they do, and sometimes, not saying that they all do. You know what, guys, I'm not even going to try to defend my case on this. It just happens. So all in all, America, not a bad place. America is like one of the only places where you can actually own like several guns. Like, some countries might not believe this, but the only reason why America, we haven't been conquered by our own government is because they know that the average guns per household here in America is like 4. Like globally, there's like 800,000 guns sold to citizens in America, and we have a population of 300,000. So it's like almost 2.5 guns per person in America, which you might think sounds insane. I know a person with 25 guns in a gun safe. I know a person. He's literally showed me a photo of his gun safe with several guns. So, and I mean, if you ask anyone, everyone is ready for like a Waco moment. Not saying that there's any need for a Waco moment, but everyone is like on edge, ready for if the government comes on, tries to tell me what to do. If they're making me do a government ID, they got another thing coming to me. I had 25 guns, and I got 6 children, all know how to use them. I want to see the government come on, step to me. Come on, step to me. Well, it is sad what's happened to this country, but at the very least, I can have a gun to protect myself when the government tries to force me to get a vaccination. Yeah, I mean, they could freeze my bank account or whatever, which happened in Canada. I remember the, what was it, the convoy, the trucker convoy. And, I mean, I only know this because one of my favorite Magic the Gathering artists was in support of that convoy, and Magic fired him. But that's besides the point, because there was actual truckers who were trucking, and their cards were turned off. Their bank account information was, seized by the Canadian government, which is, I mean, so unbelievably cucked out. Speaking of Canadian guys, I'm on a bit of a caffeine high right now, so you're gonna have to ride it with me. But speaking of Canada and the tick situation, I saw this recently, literally just the other day, a headline that says a wave of ticks are headed to Canada. That was literally the headline. A wave of the Lone Star tick is headed to Canada. So guys, if you thought you were safe and you live or listen to me in Canada, you might not be safe. What we've got cooking, what our own demented, demonic scientists have been cooking up, like the Faucis of the world and the Bill Gates of the world, unfortunately is going to infect you. All I can say is, get ducks. And if you're ever going into the woods, I actually found this trick. It does work. If you take duct tape and tie it around your ankles facing backwards, so the sticky part is out, as if any ticks try to crawl up you, they will get stuck in the duct tape, and I mean, they'll be alive, but they won't be crawling up you and trying to infect you with something. But Coop on YouTube, recommend you to listen to Coop. Don't do it until you finish this episode, though. Coop on YouTube released a very interesting documentary series on these infected ticks. I'm glad he did, but it is a very concerning, I mean, just coming from someone who's noticed it firsthand, 2 people I know got alpha-gal when my entire life without even knowing what alpha-gal even was. In the very recent time, 2 people I've known has gotten alpha-gal, and I have a very small circle of about 15 people. So like a solid percentage of people that I even know got alpha-gal. And that's not even to mention like Lyme disease. I don't even know when people get Lyme disease because they don't tell you, but it's bad. But actually, let me play this video I'm not going to play the Coop video, but there's a video on Bill Gates' YouTube channel that is, here it is. This is on Bill Gates' official YouTube channel. The video is called The Mosquito Factory. Inside a 2-story building in Medellin, Colombia, scientists work long hours in muggy labs breeding millions and millions of mosquitoes. So let's just peek in on what Mr. Bill Gates is funding.
We've been able to bring the solution of Wolbachia mosquitoes to this city. When this bacteria called Wolbachia gets introduced into the mosquito, it stops their ability to transmit dengue. We release mosquitoes that have Wolbachia. Now they go and mate, and Wolbachia gets passed into the wild mosquito population. If we're going to control these diseases in all the tropical cities of the world, it's going to require a lot of mosquitoes. The mosquito life cycle starts with the egg.
Yeah, this is disgusting. God, this is disgusting. There's a clip here of them releasing them into the population. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
There's 300 eggs in here.
So this little pill is water soluble, and it has 300 baby mosquitoes ready to bust open. And it's water soluble, so they could just drop this into a lake, and then boom, all of a sudden you have a mosquito lake.
And enough food for the mosquitoes to be able to grow. They just need to be dropped in water.
Wow.
The other approach is to take the adults themselves. Here we have three.
Dude, this guy's going down the street dropping. He looks like he's in a DoorDash outfit, and he's dropping live mosquitoes and just shaking them out of a cup on the streets of, I don't even know where this guy is. Probably Africa. If you're rich enough, can you just release any animal on a population? Like anything. You can do anything that you want to the population. I truly don't understand how this passes like a government's like, oh yeah, that sounds really cool. So you're going to release mosquitoes. So you're growing mass millions and millions of mosquitoes, and your plan is that they mate with mosquitoes and turn off the thing that makes them transmit diseases? Huh. Okay, I'm a politician. I'm thinking yes. That sounds like a good idea. How much money is it? How much money are you going to give me? I'm thinking absolutely. I'm thinking how many mosquitoes can you drop and how soon? Oh, you want to do it? Oh, the next phase is ticks? Oh, you have a cool idea for ticks being dropped in mysterious boxes? Interesting. I'm very interested in this idea.
Take the adults themselves. Here we have 300, and they can be released off the back of a motorbike.
Get up!
Look at this.
Or even packaged into a drone for...
They literally have a drone with a box ready to drop mosquitoes on an unsuspecting village.
aerial release. Over half the world's population is currently suffering or at risk of contracting these diseases. We have a solution, and our goal is to scale and deliver it to communities around the world.
What a freak. What a freak. Also, that's that business model. So the business model of curing malaria is, this is my problem with all these things, is like when you're a for-profit company and you're trying to cure malaria, if you cure malaria, you have to literally become homeless. You have to quit your job. You have to throw a celebration party for completing your job and go completely insolvent and dissolve the company. So where's the incentive? Where's the incentive to actually cure it? They're definitely doing some suspicious shit. I don't know anything about biology, but I do know that growing millions and millions of mosquitoes is no good. That's not good. And they're literally going to do this with ticks. They are doing this with ticks. Look at this. Pfizer just announced. Look, this literally just now. This was on March 28th, so about a month or so ago. Pfizer just announced the new Lyme disease vaccine. Here's what we know. Oh, there it is. Bingo. Pfizer just came out with a phase 3 clinical trial for their PF073040, a 4-dose Lyme disease vaccine developed together. It is about 70% effective. Oh, I bet it's safe and effective too. Lyme disease impacts nearly 500,000 Americans each year, making this the most common vector-borne illness in the country. It is caused by Borrelia burgdorferi. So, guys, if you look up where Lyme disease came from, it is so first off, it was a known issue, but it was like very rare, like 4 people would get it. And then they started to do these interesting experiments on an island called Plum Island off the coast of like Connecticut. And if you look at the Lyme disease exposure, it is the heat map of exposure to Lyme disease is very, I will say, Connecticut concentric, Plum Island concentric. And Plum Island is, guys, you guys might think you're safe. It's pretty close to Canada. So it's an island off the coast, and deer and stuff, they experiment on all this shit on this island. And these deer get these weird ticks, and they swim and they mate, and these ticks are crawling all over the place, and they're diseased. I'm telling you right now, they're not talking about ticks right now. I'm the only person talking about the tick issue because I'm living the tick issue. I literally have to pull ticks off of my dog, Darcy, every single day because of these ticks. You go out for 5 seconds and they're on you. These little Lone Star fuckers. I'm like checking myself constantly. I literally gave myself a panic attack 2 weeks ago because I thought I got alpha-gal, but it was just a bad sandwich. Remember that? This affects you not only physically, but it affects you mentally. If you've ever been bitten by a tick, you know, you're like, it's only a matter of time. I have Lyme disease. It's going to eat me up. I have alpha-gal. Now I can never enjoy a sandwich or a nice glass of milk. God. Imagine not being able to drink cereal, milk ever again. This is the kind of mental torment they want from you. Yeah, so, and Lyme disease is pretty new. It was first discovered in the 1970s in Lyme, Connecticut. Oh, it started in Lyme, Connecticut, adjacent to Plum Island, where they're doing these weird gain of function research on animals and insects. Weird. So, I mean, if you ever have any doubt about, even if you have a doubt about where COVID came from, COVID, at this point, if you don't think COVID came from a lab, you're like kind of in the minority. And it's like, okay, kind of catch up to the thing. Catch up to the times. It's like almost a known thing. You know, I've actually talked to a few people that I told them COVID came from a lab in like 2020, which was like during COVID. And they looked at me like I was clinically, like I had to be hospitalized. And I told them that now, and they're like, oh yeah, everyone knows that. There is nothing, and I sometimes I feel like I'm a targeted individual because I get so heated. Oh, so I'm not crazy now. No, everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. COVID, of course it came from a lab. And the only thing I can, dude, the things that are being, the intro to the podcast was this song. It's like a trend now on TikTok. Type in Saturn on TikTok. It is a trend now to like take pictures and record stuff going on in regards to like Freemasonry and Saturn worship, which is, the black cube and, all this imagery of pentagons, pentagrams, hexagons, hexagrams, stars of David, pentacles, all this type of stuff. Is these videos will just flash in front of you to that song, and it's like the most normal thing. Normal people are talking about Satan worship. There is it's almost like these people aren't even schizophrenic. I wouldn't even say schizophrenic in the least. They, but now it's like a trend to be like, oh, I saw the sign. Let me play one of the videos because I'm sure I have one here. Here we go. This video has, I believe, let me see how many views this video has. I think it's something like 1.5 million, maybe. What is this? Okay, it has 279,000 likes and 1.6 million views. So this is what I would consider a viral video on TikTok, which means that pretty much everyone has seen it or it's been on someone's feed at some point. And this is the kind of stuff that they're cooking with on TikTok. And TikTok is owned by a Jewish man. So this type of stuff is like either it's slipping by him and his crackpot team, or it's being allowed to be shared, and they're probably checking who downloads it, who shares it to who. It's a sort of I would say it's contact tracing for anti-Semitism, which might be what is going on. It might be the title of the episode. But here's Donald Duck with the pentagram here, talking about this is actually pretty interesting. You guys should go check this out on your own. But this is an actual Disney channel, or not a Disney channel. This is Disney, OG Disney. This is Donald Duck talking about Pythagoras and Pythagoras' secret society called the Pythagoreans. Talking about sacred geometry and all that stuff. It's pretty highbrow for a kids show, but I do know that Mr. Disney, Walt Disney himself, was very I don't want to say anti-Semitic, but he was not into them. I'll say that much. Let's play the video. Here's Saturn. This is the sound in Saturn. So I think so. The whole theory goes that Saturn is the black hexagon on Saturn is actually where people go when they die. That's hell. And the whole storm can actually hold like 4 or 5 Earths. So it's a massive storm, and it's just that's hell. So some people actually worship the black cube, the black hexagon storm on Saturn. And there's a lot of different stuff about Saturn. I believe Saturn's other name is Kronos, and there's stuff about Kronos eating his own child. Child sacrifice wraps into it. So there's a lot of stuff that wraps into this Saturn worship. So, I mean, even the word Satan comes from Saturn. Saturnalian, sort of all wrapped up into one. But here it is. The black cube. Have you ever seen those Jewish people with that big black cube on their head? This is the black cube. The Muslims that walk in that circle around that Mecca cube, that's the black cube. Fortnite had their black cube. So this black cube, pops up everywhere. It's a pretty strong symbol. I'll say it's a pretty strong symbol. You've got the hexagon shape itself, which fits perfectly, as you can see, inside of the Jewish star there. And around it as well. But it's just interesting. I will say that. So let's just continue on. Grok is the shape of... Grok is actually a photo of Saturn. ChatGPT is a hexagon. And if you ask ChatGPT or Grok or whatever what its favorite planet is, apparently it always says Saturn. If you ask it what its favorite number is, it always says 73. If you ask it what its favorite shape is, it always says hexagon. So it's just weird. It's really strange, but hey. Normal people, like, there is a solid chance now, if you out there mention Saturn, you like that people you would never think would know anything about Saturn worship will perk up and be like, so the level at which I don't want to say anti-Semitism, but pro pro. It's not even pro Christianity because it's not like it's like one of those Anglo-Saxon sort of hype videos where it's like a Chad fighting in a war for the crusade or whatever. It's not even that, but it is sort of like everything that's not Christianity is like wrapped up into this thing. So it's like that's being allowed to prosper, which is kind of, I want to say it's kind of a little bit scary. Because anytime that a theory becomes well known, like if my mom ever mentions, like if I'm ever at my mom's house, she knows I know everything about, like I'm always tuned in on like conspiracy stuff. If I ever hear my mom or my stepdad mention, do you know anything about this Saturn worship? I will get very, very scared. Like if it's to the point where my mom, who God bless her heart, her biggest concern is, like not Satan worship or Saturn worship or cube stuff. It's like, she has a new Pomeranian, she's getting it groomed, and she's like doing work stuff, and it's like very blissful. It seems like a very blissful and loving life. And I love my mom, of course, but because I love my mom, I would never want her to ask me, "Man, do you know anything about this Satan or Saturn? They're doing something on Saturn." If I ever hear those words, I will feel a chill go through my body, and I will know that the end times are very, very close. I can imagine myself at like 45 right now, and by that time, it might just be well known. But if I ever hear like my mom, and she's probably older, and she comes up to me, you always told me about the you know anything about this Saturn thing? It will be go time for me. It is go back to the house, load the guns, get the dried foods out, load up the cans. It is go time, because it means the end time is very close. Speaking about, end times. If you have an iPhone, I suggest swap it. I suggest just not upgrading anymore. If you're already at like iPhone 16, just stop or whatever. I don't even know what the iPhones are at anymore. The iPhone 17. So the new iPhone 17, Apple announced that the new iPhone 17e will have a chip developed in Israel. So if I know anything about Israel chips, and I think I do, they are prone to spontaneous combustion. And they are pretty keen on tricking you into putting the phone, for when it combusts, into the worst place. So they send you a message that says, this is what they did with the Muslim, the pager situation. Remember the golden pager that they gave to Donald Trump? This was their pager operation. Guys, this is how deep this is how long of a con this was. Israel was operating a pager company as a pager company for like 10 years before even blowing up the pagers on these people. So they were like fully like going to work for 10 years. Hey, Bill. Yeah, sorry, we're going to have to let you go. Working a pager company. Stephanie, do you have the papers I sent you? I need those figures on whatever pagers I got. They were working an actual job. Where's the file on the whatever client, right? They were operating a pager company for 10 years, attempting to like establish a connection and sell pagers to these terrorists and blow them all up. All the pagers simultaneously. They got a note that says urgent. So they take it out of their pocket, hold it up to their face to read urgent, and then it blows up on their face and hands, disfiguring their hands and face and possibly killing them. If they were driving, dead. If they were flying, into a building. If they had fingers, gone. If they had pointer fingers that could shoot an AK-47, gone. This is the type of long con that they're playing. But now, and this is from the Jerusalem Post. I love that. I love the Jerusalem Post. By Yanam Ben Shashan. It sounds like a real solid guy. I don't know anything about the guy. He could be a nice guy. A quiet upgrade under the radar. Apple launches the new iPhone 17 as a press release without a flashy event, without a stage, and Cupertino. Apple refreshed its entry device. The iPhone 17e comes with an A19 chip, full support of Apple Intelligence, and a new cellular modem developed in Israel. All the same price tag of $599. So, guys, if you have this new iPhone, and guys, all things considered, this chip, the Israel chip, is probably already in your phone. Remember when phones were like blowing, like Samsung phones were like blowing up in 2019? I remember because I was like, I think I had my phone, and it was one of the ones that was blowing up, and like shocking people and like blowing molten like lithium out the charger hole or some shit. And I mean, I might think that was one of those situations where it was like a test drive, the test drive for the Israel chip. So many of these things happen. So this is why it's so hard to do this, is because so much of this stuff actually happens after the fact. You have to actually be like several years out in knowing what's going on. So it's like you have to actually look backwards so like where we're at now, you have to look like 10 years in the past and see what we were doing then, is what I'm trying to say. So 10 years ago, what were we doing? Oh, we had actually, that is actually kind of crazy. In 2014 was the Ebola year. 2024 is the year of, I guess that was an election. Was that an election year? 2026. So 2016 Ebola year, 2016 Ebola, 2026 Ebola. These things might all just happen. I think they might literally be on a 10-year, 12-year cycle, something like that. All right, let's go on to TikTok time, but I'm going to take a piss real quick. All right, where do we start? Let's start with this. This is pretty interesting. This is hantavirus being discussed in X-Files in 2020, or I guess in like 1970s or something like that. I don't know. Season 7, episode 12. Talk about hantavirus. And I do know, before anyone complains, that hantavirus has been around for a long time. It's not like it's a new thing. But this, we also have to know, and you have to recognize, that predictive programming does exist, and it's sort of the job of Hollywood to predictively program. I mean, look at the new movie coming out literally next, 2 weeks from now, called Disclosure Day, about aliens, but the aliens, like, I guess, live among us, maybe, like David Icke style. So this could be, and like all on the coattails of releasing UFO information. So it's priming, it's mental priming to get people ready to accept things. Like before 9/11, there was like a billion movies about buildings being blown up. Like a billion movies. Like I guess every single movie from like 1997 to I guess 2000 was included some sort of building being blown up. Fight Club. I mean, I literally I don't watch enough 90s movies to know. There's that one. What's that? God damn it! What's that Christmas movie with that guy who's now? Oh my God! I'm gonna kill myself. What's that, dude? I used to actually know things. Bruce, no. Wait, Bruce something, right? Bruce is on the right track. Bruce Willis. That guy. What's that movie though? The Christmas movie people watch on Christmas. Die Hard. I'm pretty sure they blow up a building in that one too. But that's like Independence Day. I mean, name a billion movies, but that's social programming. It's called predictive programming. I mean, there's a billion, whatever. But this is a hantavirus one.
Well, the world like the hantavirus, but I can promise you that it's not. Well, I mean, she exhibited all the symptoms, the hemorrhagic fever, the severe chills, acute shock. But I mean, the thing is that they all developed in a matter of seconds. And the hantavirus doesn't kill that fast. I mean, no virus in the world kills that fast.
You're talking about the hantavirus right before she died? Why?
Because she kept bringing it up. I mean, it was like the power of suggestion, Mulder. She was standing there, she was saying that she was afraid of contagion, and then all of a sudden she was
afraid.
Yeah, so apparently you get hantavirus from like rodents and stuff like that. But just interesting. The X-Files. All right, let's talk about this guy. This guy's a patriot right here. Talk about a patriot.
Number one, we measure and track. Number two, we monitor and disrupt. We have a whole apparatus. I have 40 analysts working.
By the way, this is what your digital ID will look like. This is this guy.
Disrupt. We have a whole apparatus. I have 40 analysts working full time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, monitoring extremists. We monitor them online, social media, messaging apps, video games, cryptocurrency, podcasts.
We might have a problem. If they're monitoring podcasts, this podcast is definitely being monitored by someone looking for anti-Semitic remarks. And all I have to say to that is, this is a comedy podcast. It's satirical, satire, parody. This is a parody of a podcast that would say anti-Semitic things. But I myself am not anti-Semitic because I don't have a good reason yet, but I'll get back to you. Let's continue.
Short form video, Wikipedia, LLMs. We monitor these people and we share the intelligence with the FBI.
Yeah, that's the guy who has the anytime you ask ChatGPT a question about anything that pertains to Jewish people, it says, I don't know if we can really answer that. All of a sudden ChatGPT gets really stressed out. I don't know if I can really, he calls out sick. It's the only time ChatGPT calls out sick is when you ask a question about Jewish people. I don't know if I can answer that really. I just can't answer that. I'm sorry. I really wish I could answer that, but I just can't. Oh, it's okay, ChatGPT. I swear, I won't tell your boss. It's just you can. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'd love to answer that, but we just can't. We just don't have the data on it, and actually, you might be anti-Semitic for even asking it. But that's not me. That's my boss. All of a sudden, ChatGPT becomes that guy. I'd love to. I would love to. I would love to answer your question about, what percentage of, people own CEOs in several companies, or who runs BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, and how much percent of all companies they own, and who owns those companies, and who the major shareholders of every company are. I mean, I'd love to answer these questions, and your question about the banking system and I did get a very interesting book that I'm excited to read. This one you will not find on the banned book section. I love the banned book section at Barnes & Noble because it's like 1984. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and A Catcher in the Rye. No, this is legitimately a banned book. This is the kind of books that are banned. This is called A History of Central Banking and the Enslavement of Mankind. So this is the kind of this book and Theodore Kaczynski's book about the Industrial Revolutions and its consequences. Those are banned books, but you will not see those in a real banned book. You will not find inside of a Barnes & Noble. I can guarantee you that. You have to go up. You'll have to go up to them and ask them to find the book, and they will tell you, "Oh, sorry, we cannot sell that book." Oh, that's a really banned book. Those are the kind of banned books that you're looking for. And I got this off of a book shop called Thrift Books. If you guys want to check it out, they sell all books, all secondhand, but you can choose kind of the wear and tear on the book, and this one was marked as like new. So that will be a book for us to read a little bit later. And I'm pretty interested to hear about it. Lots of Israel stuff.
I recognize that a lot of young voters.
Here's J.D. Vance. This is J.D. Vance sped up. That's why he doesn't sound like J.D. Vance, but he still looks gay. J.D. Vance says, "Don't worry about funding Israel." So this is him talking to, I guess, the voting base that got him and Trump into power. And he says, don't quit on Trump just because of one issue. Don't be a one-issue guy. Just because you don't like how we're sending so much money to Israel, don't be that guy.
I recognize that a lot of young voters don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East. Okay, I understand that. I'm not saying you have to agree with me on every issue. Don't get disengaged.
I understand that. Don't get disinterested.
Because you disagree.
Don't disengage. Don't disengage with the right wing just because we actively sponsor and fund war crimes. Me scratching my head and ass.
Disengage because you disagree with the administration on one topic.
Dude, that guy's so gay. There's not enough slurs to call that guy, actually. There needs to be a new term for gay that's not the F word, but refers to someone who's also retarded for that guy. But there literally needs to be invented a new slur for J.D. Vance. With how much... It's like a combination. So, like, imagine you're a witch making a slur cauldron, and you throw in the F slur, you throw in retard, and you throw in cuck, and you start mixing it around, and then the new word that pops out of that is what we need to describe J.D. Vance. Because he is so gay, retarded, and cucked out to Israel that he needs a new slur. We need something to call him that's, the English language only has so much to offer. Maybe there's a German word that combines everything. German words usually have one word that like is a group of everything. We need that. Maybe I could call my sister and find out she actually speaks German. Is there a word for it? I can imagine. I think it's in Germany right now. She lives in Germany. In Germany right now, I think it's 2 a.m. If I called her and she picked up, it'd be 2 a.m. I'd ask her, is there a word that combines the F word, not that F word, the one for, those, and cuck and also retard? Is there a word in German that kind of combines all those succinctly? No? Okay, sorry for waking you. Bye. That's I can't. That would be a call, though.
Here, but it's time to limit.
This is an Israeli billionaire making a case to limit the First Amendment.
Difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
Oh, the classic a good offense is a solid defense strat. We need to limit it to protect it.
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms.
We need to control the platforms. I love how he actively kind of spills the beans. Is that a Freudian slip?
We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online, and
this is what he's describing right now is a digital ID. If you guys are ever, God forbid, forced to get a digital ID, just watch what you say about Israeli people and the Jewish faith in general, because those are the three main things that they will be coming for. And it is kind of sad, the state of affairs, but it is how it is.
Well, twerking her way into office, at least that's the hope for a local want-to-be politician. Her TikTok videos might make you blush, but they're gaining some serious traction tonight.
I am an ethical person.
Do you think that
So this is a woman running for Congress, and I'm telling you this right now, she's probably going to win. I don't know who she is or what she stands for, what party she is, but she has posted videos on TikTok of her twerking as her campaign.
King is going to get people to the polls. Pardon the pun.
Oh, I know. Literally, yeah, honestly, like I said, men are kind of, we all know how they are. Look at the men that are in power now.
Congressional hopeful Shelby Campbell says sex sells. Twerking for your vote in the 13th district.
I'm classy. I'm classy. Am I not?
I don't do OnlyFans like everybody just keeps saying. I was just having fun.
Why not? Also, why not? If you're twerking to get a seat on on Congress, why not do OnlyFans? It's ideally, it is the next evolution of politics. Is who's the sexiest, who's the hottest, who's the hunk, who's the most mega giga chad. It's gonna be giga chads and like girls that twerk but are like bisexual, say they're bisexual but have only dated men. Like this is the kind of this is the future that we have to look out to, and look forward to. Really, is who's the most ripped, who has the best OnlyFans, who's the most looks maxed, and it's gonna be. I'm not going to say it's going to be bad because it's going to be a good representation. Like when they say no taxation without representation, that might be a good representation of the the populace, what we have going on. They say that 1 in 10 girls has had an OnlyFans at one point. Not that they have an active one, but that they have tried it. So about 10% of the women out there have already tried to pimp themselves out of their own. Become their own pimp and own whore, and that's probably only growing. It really is the only way to become economically sound in this crumbling economy, is to become a TikTok whore slut who has an OnlyFans, and to become a looks maxer who rates people's faces. Like, those are really the only two options you have. That, that's really kind of the only two options that you have. I'm trying to think of another option. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Really, besides getting a job, like getting a normal job and just like living paycheck to paycheck. Those are your options.
I'm young and I'm taking advantage of social media.
She says she's got booty and brains. A law student, mom of 2, and former line worker, now making cheeks blush across TikTok in an attempt to clench votes. One of the videos surfaced said, I'm a great, but would you know a if you saw one?
Yeah.
Is that the N-word? Would you know an N-word if you saw one? I'm an N-word. Would you know an N-word? Would you know a real N-word if you saw one? She's got my vote, guys.
One of the videos surfaced said, I'm a great, but would you know a if you saw one?
Yeah.
Would you know an N-word if you saw one? I want to believe that that's what she said there, and she's got my vote. She's a real one. She's a YN, if you will. Oh, here's Netanyahu.
Jesus Christ.
The big Yahoo.
Has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because
this one, not necessarily a call to arms, should get you hype on Jesus Christ and his infinite power.
Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good.
But he's just gone into overdrive. The cube is activated, okay?
This is another Saturn video. I didn't even mean it for it, but I knew I had another one here, though. But this is Netanyahu saying that
Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan.
Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. If you're powerful enough, you can beat Jesus, is what he's saying.
Play or buy from your soul is in your keeping alone. Even though those who presume to play you be kings and men of power, when you stand before God, you cannot say, but I was told by others to do thus. or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice.
It's a bit of a, that's one of those Jesus kind of hype videos I was telling you about earlier. What is this one? Oh, this is a funny one. This is a little robot doing his Michael Jackson gimmick, and then he dies. He falls over and dies. Look at that robot jig, though. Oh, saved himself. Ooh, back into it. He's smooth. Look at that moonwalk. The silence is so funny as he just stands there. He's just dead on stage, doesn't move. So good. All right, let's end it on this. I told you last week to check out A Bug's Life.
It's just,
but I went ahead and grabbed a clip just because. Here's the clip. This is called the Bug's Life. I think this guy's what is this guy, a locust or something? This guy's some sort of bug. This guy's some sort of bug, but it's like the monologue. So if you just look up the monologue, you'll find it. But I suggest watch the whole video. But
it's just one ant. You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. Let this be a lesson to all you ants. You are mindless, soil-shopping losers. Put on this earth to serve us. Ants don't serve grasshoppers. It's you who need us.
guys, the time is coming where brave men will have to make brave choices. And even there will be a time, hopefully in my lifetime, when men of worth will you know, am I retarded or what? I really can't I can't really just say too much because obviously that's an algorithm situation. But there was a quote that I read. I don't even know where I read it or when I saw it. I think it may have been on that Coop video. But I love this quote. It said, I was always waiting for somebody to do something until I realized I was somebody. Goodbye.
And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seem to